Good morning, everyone. I'd like you to welcome to the first panel of this ONEedge Day, where we'll be presenting the results of the ONEedge project. Let me introduce myself. I'll be the first speaker of this panel, and also I'll be chairing the panel throughout the 4 talks. Okay, so my name is Tino Vázquez, and I am the COO of OpenNebula Systems, and I'll be introducing the aim of the main results of the ONEedge project. Then Ruben Santiago Montero, the CTO of OpenNebula, will lay out the main innovations coming from this European funded project. After that, Michael Abdu, our VP of Sales, will introduce one of the main outcomes of the project, which is online service called ONEedgeDay2022, that later on, as the last talk of the panel, Marco Mancini, our cloud technical evangelist, will demo briefly. Okay. Please remember that you can ask questions to any of the speakers through the swap card interface, and we'll be more than happy to answer throughout the sessions. We have a small request. We are about to release our first beta of a new version of OpenNebula. That's OpenNebula 6.4. And we ask your help to pick a code name, right? So we typically have code names for each release, major release of OpenNebula, related to nebulas that exist or maybe do not exist. Some code names from sci-fi fiction, so literature. So feel free to pick one of the options in the poll. Okay, so let me start introducing the ONEedge project. So I'll be taking the next 10 to 15 minutes to lay down the objectives and one of the main results of this project. Okay, so what is the problem that ONEedge is trying to solve? Well, as you may know, there's a growing need of deploying services with low latency. So this typically means bringing the computing power as close to the end user as possible, right? And this problem is present in several industry niches. Okay, for instance, in the gaming sector, it's very important to have low latency. If you ever played an online game, you know the importance of the lag, right? So being able to deploy game servers closer to the end users, it's critical importance for this industry. Also, for media streaming, it's very important to have processing power as close to the event as possible to process. You all know how nasty it can be to have cuts during an important match like my World Cup final. Okay. There's also a lot of new use cases introduced by the 5G technology. Almost all of them benefit from low latency. Okay, this is also true from the Internet of Things sector. Okay, it's processing at the edge, including some degree of autonomy that doesn't affect the service from network cuts. It's fundamental also for the use case. Also for smart cities, right? So moving processing power to the sensor or as close as possible to the sensor and terminals is a crucial factor for the success of several technologies involved in smart cities. Okay, so given these requirements of low latency, data protection, service availability, this has increased the need of a solution such as the one that edge computing offers, right? It offers answers for most of these pain points. And we identified the need of having an orchestrator that is able to manage resources in the edge, and not only in the edge, but alongside the cloud edge continuum, right? And ideally in a uniform layer. So this is the problem that ONEedge tries to solve. Okay, so what's the model that we are proposing in ONEedge? Okay, so what ONEedge proposes is extending the private cloud to encompass resources outside the on-premises data centers, where the private cloud traditionally belongs. Okay, so as you know, yeah, these private clouds are traditionally deployed on premises, and in ONEedge we are proposing to extend this concept of private cloud with an elastic private cloud that is able to aggregate computing power with resources from hosted infrastructures in other data centers, and also resources from public cloud providers and also edge providers, right? So the aim of ONEedge is to provide this uniform layer alongside the continuum where people can deploy workloads in any point of this continuum from a single pane of glass. Okay, coming from this traditional private cloud, ONEedge does not impose any requirements on hardware. Okay, and extending that vision to the cloud edge continuum, it does also not impose any requirements on the different providers. Okay, so it's a way to achieve a vendor-neutral cloud. Also, it's agnostic to the application because any workload can be executed as in the traditional private cloud. And this is true also for the elastic private cloud. So any legacy workload can be executing alongside the continuum without having to change the format of the images or the characteristics of the virtual machines or containers workload. Okay, and also as a characteristic, this extension of the private cloud to the external cloud and edge providers, it's been doing on demand. Okay, so these new computing edge clusters can be added and removed from these ONEedge infrastructures automatically. Okay, so what are the innovations that this model, the benefits that this model brings to the table in this orchestration of resources alongside the cloud edge continuum? Okay, so this unique approach of adding computing capacity from cloud and edge providers to the private cloud comes with one of the main benefits, which is the backward compatibility that we talked about in the last slide. So since all the underlying computing components are homogeneous, because ONEedge uses bare metal resources of these cloud and edge providers, the same workloads can be used in any point of the continuum. Okay, and this also brings a benefit of interoperability, since the same workload can be deployed in different cloud and edge providers through this uniform layer provided by ONEedge. Okay, this also means that ONEedge helps to avoid vendor locking of hardware and also cloud and edge providers, since the workload can be moved easily between any of them. Okay, and all this functionality, it's offered through a single pane of glass. So the infrastructure and also the workload that runs on that infrastructure alongside the Cloud Edge Continuum can be provisioned and managed from the same interface. And all of these can be provided as a service, as an on-demand service where you can request an instance of your ONEedge infrastructure. Okay, there's several use cases that have helped us to drive the requirements of the project. These are some highlights. For instance, the ability to create elastic private cloud for media services, right, for streaming. Also to deploy virtual desktops, which you know, it's very important to have low latency with them. Also to deploy several Kubernetes clusters, including multiplayer game servers. And we have also explored different use cases related to Internet of Things. This is an overview of the development cycle that we follow in ONEedge that helped us move our technology from TRL 6 to TRL 8. Okay, so we followed, as mentioned, a use case driven approach, okay, with real world use cases where we extract requirements and we later created functionality and added functionality to OpenNebula in the context of the open source project. Okay, we also validated this functionality throughout the community of OpenNebula that help us validate it in different use cases. And as the last step, and that this is the point we are at the moment, we are creating the Edgify service that will help deliver this ONEedge technology through an online service. Okay, so the main results of the project, well, clearly one of the main results is different releases of the software. So this is OpenNebula with this enhanced functionality added in the context of ONEedge. So we have several releases from 5.12 to 6.2, and we can see that there's over 2,500 active clouds, and by active I mean that they've been running from for 3 months minimum, and all these 2,500 clouds, they come with the ONEedge technology, so it's ready for admins and end users to use without having to do any extra steps. Okay, we also validated 17 use cases throughout the project, and we spread the word in different webinars and also events where we introduced this technology to the general public. Okay, and all this work was possible thanks to the Edge 2020 grant for ONEedge. We are very grateful for the trust the European Commission has placed on OpenNebula. Okay, I'd like to thank you for attending my talk, and I'll be giving now the floor to Ruben. Thank you.